A Trump biographer just dropped yet another splashy bombshell on President Taco, and this one goes a long way toward explaining some of Trump's recent actions. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. And today in Epstein Gate, the saga continues as Donald Trump has left Scotland and returned to a fraught Washington, where Republicans prepare to jump ship. Is it wrong to wonder if they're wearing life jackets? Anyway, in case you missed it, reporters cornered Trump on Air Force One on his trip back, pressing him for details about why he fell out with his longtime best friend, notorious sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Trump, who had referred to going to Epstein's private island, the site of his crimes, as a privilege, did himself no favors.
Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. I'm just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Yes, they were young women?
What did they do?
In the spa.
In the spa?
Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us.
Yes, Trump fully and transparently admits that he and Epstein fell out over a woman. And another woman in this case now has Trump running scared. Stay tuned. Trump complains that Epstein stole one of his favorite employees, a then 14-year-old Virginia Giuffre, who went on to become one of Epstein's most prominent accusers. In other words, Epstein stole his victim from Trump, but what upsets the taco president isn't that Epstein abused her, but that he poached a beloved staff member. Priorities, priorities. And now another one of Trump's priorities is beginning to make more sense. Trump continues to float a potential pardon or commutation of sentence to Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice in his sex trafficking scandal. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison term for her crimes, and members of Congress have subpoenaed her to testify about her knowledge of Trump's activities with Epstein. A Department of Justice official, Todd Blanche, who also happens to be Donald Trump's former lawyer, also met with Maxwell, though he has not disclosed what they discussed. Now Trump's biographer, journalist Michael Wolff, has added fuel to the controversy, revealing that some of the recent revelations into the Trump-Epstein relationship, including a birthday card sent by Trump to Epstein, originated with Maxwell herself.
But at any rate, at one point, after Trump had been elected, I was sitting talking to Epstein, and he said, wait a minute, I got to show you something. And then he went into his safe, and he came out with photographs. They were Polaroids, I think, and he kind of spread them out like playing cards, and it was Trump. I mean, I think there were a dozen of them, and it was Trump with girls of an uncertain age at Epstein's Palm Beach house, where all of the things that he would ultimately be accused of took place. And I remember very vividly 3 of them. There are 2 in which Trump is, the girls, topless girls, are sitting on Trump's lap. And then a 3rd in which he has a stain on the front of his pants. And the girls are kind of pointing at it, sort of bent over, laughing, covering
their mouths.
Yeah, exactly. And pointing, 3 or 4 girls. And those are the ones I specifically remember. And my assumption is that they were in the safe, and I have seen them on other occasions take them out of the safe. And I think it's certainly not unlikely that they were in the safe when the FBI came in after his arrest and took everything from the house, including everything that was in the safe.
In other words, Ghislaine Maxwell is, in essence, blackmailing Trump from prison. The more she leaks to the media, the more she fans the flames of Epstein Gate, and the more she pressures Trump for a pardon. But if you have watched my reports here on the channel before, and if you haven't, get to it, you know that a pardon of Maxwell, one of the most notorious sex traffickers in modern history, would be tantamount to political suicide by Trump. The MAGA base, which supported Trump because they believed he would release all the FBI files on Epstein and out a worldwide satanic sex abuse cult, would also turn on him in an instant. They've already started to. And furthermore, the idea that a president would pardon a sex trafficker is so outrageous, it would be a total admission of guilt on Trump's part. But for now, the slow drip of Epstein water torture continues as further details leak. See our other videos for more. And Trump continues to cower. And the clock is ticking. If Democrats get into power next November and release the files, Taco Trump could be the next to run for the border. This is Occupy Democrats.